Jesus Christ looks like me. Jesus Christ, no.
What's going on, people? Mike C-Town here. We did a best of 2014 mid-year list of hip-hop albums on Dead End Hip Hop, and right after we did that, I meant to follow that up with a best of 2014 mid-year non-hip hop list, but I totally forgot until today.
Better late than never, bruh.
I do these lists because I talk a lot about hip-hop albums on Dead End Hip Hop, and I only review hip-hop albums on my channel as like a compliment to the Dead End Hip Hop stuff. But I listen to a lot of other genres, and I like talking about those too. Every year I'll do a list of anywhere between 15 to 20 albums that I've really enjoyed that are not hip hop albums. And I don't know, for the mid-year I want to do a quick 10. So yeah, so here we go. These are in descending order, so yeah. So I made a huge mistake here. While doing my list, I completely forgot the absolute best album of the year. Don't ask me how I did this. It could be old age or something, but I can't let this video be up and not actually represent my true list. So instead of getting a top 10, what you're actually gonna get is a top 11. And you know what? It's my channel, so I can do that shit. Alright? I don't feel like re-editing this whole video, so I'm just gonna let it go. So I want to thank Not My Name McLiar on Twitter for reminding me that I made this huge fucking mistake. So make sure after you hear what I say originally is number one, make sure you wait, because after that will be the actual number one album of the year for me. Number 10, we have the Silver Mount Zion Memorial Orchestra. Fuck Off, Get Free, We Pour Light on Everything. This is a great album. You know, still has the big orchestration that their other albums have, but there's more of a rock feel to this. You know, the guys are really pounding and shredding on their instruments. You know, rocking guitars, violins, pounding drums. A few songs actually give me like a Comus feel. You know, one of my favorite songs is Austerity Blues, the 14-minute long jammer. The way it runs right into Take Away These Early Graves is just perfect. Coming in at number 9, we have Mayhem, Esoteric Warfare. Wasn't sure what to expect with this one. It's been 7 years since Ordo Ad KO, so I figured they weren't going to do another record, you know, which would have been a shame since that record was so good. But this one picks up kind of where that one left off, but they use a bit more experimentation on this. You know, you have pieces of, you know, Ordo Ad KO, but you also have pieces from Grand Declaration of War. You know, lots of really great guitar work here, amazing drumming, of course, but the guitar work really stood out to me. You know, I liked Blasphemer, but I also really liked the work of, I think his name is Taylock and Ghoul. Some really interesting time changes, sound experiments, you know, but what I really notice are all the different vocal styles that Attila uses here, you know, and they all sound great. Seems like he's taken bits and pieces of all the styles he's used throughout his various projects he's done since Mayhem, and he kind of just uses them all on this record. But yeah, overall, fantastic black metal record. Coming in at number 8, we have Liars, Mess. I didn't expect myself to love this as much as I did. You know, this sounds like a super weird EDM goth record. You know, something I would listen to in my early 20s when I was going to goth clubs all the time. They still have that signature weirdness, but the music is still very danceable. Takes me back to the days where, you know, I'm wearing my black eyeshadow, I have my long hair, you know, wearing nothing but black every single day, getting my goth club on, boy. My goth club on, boy. I find this a bit more interesting than their last record. It's darker, more straightforward, not so glitchy. Just a really well done EDM goth record. Coming in at number 7, we have Alcé with Shelter. After Les Voyages de la May, I was really interested to see which direction they'd go in, you know. But finally, these guys have completely severed all ties to their black metal past, you know. This is a straightforward shoegaze album. Something that would have been on 4AD back in the day. The thing is, it's so well played, so well laid out, you know, the guitars just sound perfect. The layers here, they're very slow dive-ish. And Nij's vocals have never sounded better to me. So if you like shoegaze, I really feel like you have to hear this record. It's awesome. Number 6, we have Woven Hand, Refractory Abdurate. I love this band. I actually did a review for Music and Riots that, if I can remember, I'll put the link in the info section down there. I'm a huge fan of anything that David Eugene Edwards does, from 16 Horsepower to Woven Hand. But what's so interesting about this record is that he's almost completely abandoned his alt-folk past for a more rockin' sound. You know, you still have the Western tinge to the music, but it's still more straightforward rock. It even has some almost heavy parts. But this is more of a post-rock album with some alt-folk, alt-country, Western sounds thrown in for good measure. But it's really well done, really well played, really mature songwriting. It's really, really good. Number 5, we have Behemoth with The Satanist. I'm pretty sure no one would be surprised by this being on my list. You know, I can almost say that this is on my list just based off the song Blow Your Trumpet, Gabriel, alone. But that song is a monster of a metal track. It's slow beginning, its atmosphere, the way the song increases at the end, it's just perfect. I've enjoyed the majority of Behemoth's records, but this one might be my favorite. You know, it's heavy, it's powerful, just extremely well written and well executed. They've created the album that perfectly blends death metal and black metal together. Like, it almost seems like this is the record that they've been working towards throughout their entire career, and they finally made it. Like, this is their Slaughter of the Soul. You know, this is their Covenant. They're Human. This is their heart work. Just an all-around awesome metal record that I think any fan of extreme metal could kind of get behind. Coming at number 4, this is Manvera von Eiter. This is a band I came across totally by luck. You know, they're a crazy black metal band from Iceland, but what immediately caught my attention with these guys is the instrumentation. You know, their riffs give more of a feeling of like sadness than a feeling of evil. When I say sadness, I don't mean like a lot of those cheesy, like, they sound like they're made by 15-year-old kids, DSBM. I'm saying more like, I don't know, like, some of it reminds me of Megwa. Some of it reminds me of, like, older Satyricon. Some of it reminds me of Shining, but, like, the suicidal Shining, not the weird jazzy Shining. But their music is just really dark, dismal, melancholic, and most of all, it's just really, really well played and well done. And the vocals are just really ugly and pained. This is the only thing these guys have released so far, but I'm really hoping they release something else, because this is a damn good start. This is a 3-song EP, and it's this high on my list. That should tell you something. Just imagine if these guys do a full length. It's going to be absolutely killer. Coming at number 3, we have Panopticon, Roads to the North. I've been a big fan of Panopticon since I first ran across Kentucky. You know, call it black metal, call it extreme metal, call it hipster metal. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm tired of that dumbass argument. I just call it good metal. You know, but if you want to know what to expect, it's definitely closer to black metal than anything else. I've been really looking forward to this record since Austin Lund said it was being recorded. You know, and they took a step in a slightly new direction here. You know, Lund's songwriting has never been better to me. Either is his playing. Like, his drumming is absolutely phenomenal. And the guitar work is also, you know, really interesting here. You know, he goes for more complex riffs than he has with his past material. You know, like the first song, it has a riff that even reminds me of something that like Dark Tranquillity would do, you know, versus something closer to like Dark Throne or Burzum. This record is incredible. Really thought out, complex songs. You know, the songs have such a dark and sad feel to them, but still has this great atmosphere and superb playing. But yeah, amazing record. Coming in at number 2, we have Swans, To Be Kind. What's to say about this record? You know, I did a review for this record for Music and Riots as well. Basically, to me, this is the closest thing that they've done to vintage Swans since they got back together. You know, it has the tension, the creepiness, the sonic waves of sound, all the important things that Swans are known for. You know, those beautiful calm parts, those super intense frenzy parts. You know, this is just a great album. A great, loud, angry, dark, intense noise rock album. Gerard and friends, they just made an incredible record, you know, and that's really all there is to say about this. And coming in at number 1 on my list of my favorite albums of 2014, this is Morrissey, World Peace is None of Your Business. Yep. You heard it right. This is so far my favorite album this year. All you haters who haven't even listened to the record but are deeming it shitty, get off it, alright? Like, how about you actually check the record out before you just, like, dismiss it and start talking shit? This record is better than the last 2 records he's done. It might even be better than You Are the Quarry. You know, on this record we see Morrissey, you know, a lot more interesting than he's been in a long time. In my opinion, great lyrics, great songwriting, you know, and really interesting instrumentation here. The songs are all really well played. On the last couple of albums, Ringleaders of the Tormentors and Years of Refusal, you know, there were quite a few songs on there that I found to be a bit boring. But on this album, I don't find that. You know, I liked all of the songs on here. Songs like World Peace is None of Your Business, or Hooray, Hooray, the bullfighter died, or Earth is the loneliest planet of all. These are all incredible songs, but the best one is I Am Not a Man. You know, that might be one of my favorite songs this year so far, where he tackles a lot of the kind of topics that I think about all the time. So if you're a fan of Morrissey, or, you know, just a fan of good Britpop in general, you know, I think you should give this a shot. You know, and for those fans of Morrissey who are trying to dismiss everything he does now based on his ridiculous antics, you know, just stop. You know, you can be mad at him all you want, but this album has nothing to do with him canceling his tours for whatever jackass reason he keeps doing this. So if you guys just want to go through life hating Morrissey because that's like the cool thing to do now, hey man, that's on you, that's on your conscience, that's on your heart. But all you're doing is you're robbing yourself of hearing a really good album. But hey, man, that's your prerogative. Don't let me influence you. Don't let me change your mind. But your boy here, I'm jamming this shit every day. Every day. So now for my real number 1 album of the year. It's Current 93, I Am the Last of All the Field That Fell. It's incredible with such a huge catalog as Current 93's that Tibet found something different to do with another album. You know, with their catalog being so vast, it's easy to say that I hate Current 93 and I love Current 93. Luckily for me personally, I love everything that they've put out. But with this particular album, with being such a frail album, it's also a really intense album. You know, there's a lot of tension that builds up throughout these songs. What you also get is a lot of really interesting instrumentation here. It's not your standard, if you want to call it that, apocalyptic folk like A Rune and Some Blazing Star or Thunder Perfect Mind. It's also not the piano music that we heard with Hypnagogue or Soft Black Stars. This is actually a culmination of a lot of the different styles that Tibet has used throughout his catalog. And the most interesting thing is you actually get some new additions to the style. For the first time that I can remember, there's saxophone here, played by Mr. John Zorn. And that might come off as weird to you when you think about it, but when you listen to this album, it sounds great. You actually don't know what you're gonna get from track to track. You know, the album goes from the calm, almost quiet tracks like Kings and Things to the more loud and more intense tracks like The Heart Full of Eyes. And then you even have the poppiest song that I've ever heard from Current 93 with I Remember the Berlin Boys. But that doesn't break up the cohesion of this album. You know, this is easily one of the most well thought out and well planned and well played albums in Current 93's catalog. And Tibet gives probably the best performance I've heard from him in a long time. You know, there's this huge difference to me between lyrics, poetry, and prose. And David Tibet, he does this amazing combination of all three. And you can't say that about many people. You know, when I walk away from every single Current 93 album, I have lines and lyrics in my head that stay there, that mean something to me. This is easily one of the best Current 93 albums in the catalog. It's calming, it's exciting, it's unnerving, all at the same time. So overall, I find it absolutely incredible. So that's my real number one in my top 11 albums of the year. Again, this is my list. Mine's, not your list. You don't like my list? Make your own list. And when you're done making your own list, put your list in the comment section down there. That way I can take a look at it and I can silently judge you on your music taste. Or I can steal albums from your list that I may have missed. So do us both a favor, you know? Help me help you. So that's it. Thank you for living. Thank you for loving. Thank you for being you. And I will see you guys next time. All right? Peace, bitches.